All right, guys. Well, it's 8:05. We'll go and get started. Several have texted me and said that they'll be a little bit late or they'll have to catch the recording. But this is our first live Zoom meeting. We're going to try to do this more often. I understand school schedules, especially with like sports going on right now. It's not possible for everyone to make every live Zoom meeting, but I appreciate you guys that are able to make it jumping on here. I think it's just more relational, more intimate for us to be able to look at each other while we go through these lessons instead of y'all just watching me on YouTube. Sometimes I feel like an idiot talking to myself. I'll like make a joke and I'll like laugh and no one's there to laugh at me or whatever. I feel awkward. And so I just got to keep going, which honestly, there's not really a lot of times that people laugh at me when I tell a joke anyway. So I don't know why it's any different. Like the time I told a joke and I literally thought it was the funniest joke in the world right before we did communion at Thanksgiving, and literally nobody laughed. And I went down like, hey, why didn't y'all laugh? And literally everybody roasted me saying that it wasn't funny. And I'm not going to lie, I still have scars from that moment because I was so convinced that was going to be a funny joke. Let me just be honest with you. Y'all remember when I told that joke? Or
yeah, you got a lot of hate from that.
I did. And I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't told anybody this yet. I literally practiced that joke in the mirror to make sure it was funny before I went and told it. Because I was like, man, this is going to be a funny moment. Everyone's going to think it's hilarious. Nothing. None of the adults laughed. None of y'all laughed. I posted it on Facebook. There was nothing. I posted on Facebook and only like 2 people thought it was funny. My dad and my grandpa.
I think it was
my
like
dad shared it. My grandpa says screenshot of it and sent it to me and said, hey, I'm stealing that for next time I teach Sunday school. I guess it just runs in the family, man. Anyways, welcome. Say? What was it? What'd you
say again?
The joke?
Yeah.
You want me to tell the joke again? Okay.
No, please do not say the joke again.
Please don't.
That joke was much worse than the lightsaber and joke or whatever. No.
It's funny though, man.
You didn't lead it up right.
Okay, you know what? It's been 3 months. I get it. Okay, I get it. It wasn't funny. I'm moving on from it. Y'all don't have to jump all over me again. But I will tell it again. So there's this guy, and he's been reading about, hey, I need to be more thankful in all circumstances, no matter what happens. And he wakes up, and he asked his wife to iron his pants. And he looks over, and it's been a rough morning. Everything's going wrong. And he looks over, and his wife has ironed his pants too long and puts a hole in his pants. And so he takes a deep breath and says, God, I'm thankful my leg wasn't in those pants.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jordan.
You're laughing, though.
Literally crickets.
No comment.
It wasn't funny.
Oh, whatever.
It's not funny.
Whatever.
Yeah, I remember that moment now.
Yeah, it's funny, wasn't
it? Yeah.
All right. Hey, if you're taking notes, hopefully you do take notes on all of these lessons. Somewhere you can keep up with them, whether it's paper or on a Google Doc, whatever. We're looking at week 2 of our core values. Last week, someone remind me of what core value number 1 is.
Jesus is our message.
Come on. There we go. Jesus is our message. It starts with Jesus over everything. Last week, if you watched the YouTube video, if you're caught up, we just kind of talked about how Jesus is the standard. He's our message, right? And so when I'm teaching, when I'm leading, when I'm discipling, it's not about behavior modification. It's about just getting people to Jesus. Our 4 B's. Y'all remember these? Hopefully you took notes on this. This is a big thing. Anyone tell me the first B?
Befriend.
Befriend. Yeah, absolutely. It starts there. I can't lead someone to Jesus, really. I can't expect to disciple someone. Let's talk about that. I can't expect to disciple someone if I'm not even their friend, right? So befriend. What's next?
Belong.
Belong. Yeah, they got to have a place to belong, right? Talking in the church context, if I'm going to disciple someone, eat long before they behave, long before they get their language right. They may still be cussing. Man, who cares? Bring them to church. Let them have a place to belong. You don't have to be perfect first. I don't go to the hospital when I'm perfect. I go to the hospital when I'm broken, right? And that's what the church is. It's a hospital for the broken, right? So bring them in, befriend, belong, then what?
Believe.
Believe, right? Before they behave, they've got to have a belief, because if they start behaving before they believe, then it's going to be, that's religion. That's what religion is. When I try to act right long before I've even put my faith in Jesus Christ, because I think that's what it's believe, then behavior comes. So befriend, belong, believe, behave. Okay. Jesus is our message. Jesus is our message. That's what it's all about. Jesus, 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 Jesus. And everything, Jesus is the message. Jesus is what it's all about. We're in Catalyst because Jesus. We come to church because Jesus. Come on, right? I read the Bible because I want to know Jesus more, right? I pray because I want to communicate with Jesus. This is what it's all about. Jesus is our message. So week 2, this is what we're looking at. Sophie, you got the cutest little photo bomber in the world right there. Week 2, this is what it is. If Jesus is our message, write this down, okay? If Jesus is my message, then people must be my heart. People are my heart. People are my heart. If Jesus is my message, people must be my heart. That's what it's all about. Again, y'all hang with me, because starting on Wednesday, we're going to start a new series and youth going through these core values. Okay. So I'm trying to approach it from a different way, specifically on leadership, so that we're not, you're not hearing the same thing over and over, but it's the same topic, but we're coming at it from a different angle, if that makes sense. Okay. Jesus is our message. If Jesus is my message, people must be my heart. Okay. I can't say I love Jesus while I hate people. Come on. I can't say I love Jesus while I backmouth his bride. I've talked about this a lot over in 2021 about how we are the bride of Christ, right? We're the bride of Christ. The church is the bride of Christ. If you came up to me and you said, "Hey, yo, Jordan, I love you, but I can't stand Natalie," I'm going to be honest with you. If you're a dude, I'm probably going to deck you in the face. No, I don't think I'd go that far. It depends on what you say about my wife. But if you go too far, I'll just I'm called the ministry, right? I can start a ministry in prison very easily. I don't care. Just, it don't matter. You talk about my wife, we're going to have issues is the point.
Jordan, I have a question.
Yes.
You going to bite their hands off?
I'll bite their hands off, bro. I'll bite their hands off. The point is, you can't be cool with me while you're talking junk about my wife, because we're one, right? That's my bride. That's my wife. That's my best friend. And so when we get to this idea of thinking like, hey, I love Jesus, but I hate that dude in my youth group. I can't stand that girl in my youth group. I'm going to talk bad about that person in my youth group at my school or whatever. Man, that's it doesn't make any sense. People have to be our heart. And if people are our heart, that means it's got to change everything about us, right? Write these things down. This is what it's got to change. If people are my heart, it's got to change the way I see people. Number one, I've got to see people differently. I can't look at people the same way that the world looks at people. Let me ask you this question. I think we may have done this before, but I want you to, in your mind right now, without saying anything, type anything, I want you to think of somebody at your school, somebody in your family, somebody that you know personally that is so far from God that some people might think that they're a lost cause. Just think about somebody right now. When you get somebody in your head, in your mind, go ahead and raise your hand. I'm not going to call on you. I just want you to know that you're thinking about it. Get somebody in your mind that the world might consider a lost cause because they're so far from the Lord. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about the way the world sees them. Okay. How does the world see them? Why are they considered a lost cause? somebody just throw something out. Why would the world, no names, anything like that, just why would the world consider the person on your mind a lost cause?
Or the things they do.
Things they do. What else?
The way they talk.
Way they talk.
The things they believe.
Things they believe. All great answers, right? This is where we are different from the world. We have to be different from the world. You're in this group because you are a world changer. I believe it. You're a leader. Whether you see it in yourself or not, I'm telling you, there's not one person in this Catalyst group that I can look at and be like, oh, they're not. You're a leader, whether you realize it or not, whether you see it or not. You're a leader. You're a disciple maker. You're going to be a disciple maker, and that's what you're learning. That's what you're going towards. We, as leaders and disciple makers, have to see people differently than the world sees people. You can think of somebody right now and think of the way they act, the way they believe, the way they talk, that they're a lost cause. That's what the world says. However, because Jesus is my message and because people are my heart, I can't see people the same way the world does. I've got to see, listen, where the world sees, and write this down, where the world sees paralysis, I must see potential. Whew, that's a good word. Where the world sees paralysis, I choose to see potential. Right? Where the world sees a problem, I choose to see the power of God at work. So here's what I want you to do, a little exercise. The person in your mind, I want you to, whoever wants to, whoever you're thinking about, I want you to call out a potential, something you see in them that it may be deep inside of them, but you see potential within them. What's something that you see? What is the potential within them that you might see?
I see with my person, I see them being called into ministry, like preaching in front of people.
Okay. Awesome. What else?
I see my person having a very powerful testimony.
Come on, man. There is no
My person
testimony without tests before that. Come on. Yeah, go ahead, Lexi.
My person is very talented.
Come on. I love it. What else?
My person has a passion like no one else for people. If he became a Christian, he'd drive after everyone like nobody else.
Come on, man. I'm getting chill bumps. Who else? What else we see in people? Come on. Somebody. Tell me something else you see. What's something you can see within them?
My person is super kind, no matter who they talk to.
Yeah, I love it.
My person has great potential to connect with people, like a lot of people I don't see have.
Yeah. Come on. And this is the way we look at me. This is the way we've got to view people, to see people the way Jesus sees them, to realize that Jesus doesn't look at me the way the world looks at me. Oh, man, God doesn't look at me at my lowest moment when I was the furthest from God. The way that someone at my school may have looked at me is not the way Jesus looked at me. Jesus never looked at me like, oh, he's done. He looked at me. He saw me now back when I was, a heathen, PK that was running from God, essentially, right? He saw today way back 12 years ago. Come on, man. That's a powerful thought. If we can learn and train our minds to see people the way Jesus sees them, it's a game changer, man. It's a game changer. This is the verse in the story we're getting to tonight, okay? There's a couple, but I'm going to try not to, with y'all live here, it's easy for me to go long on accident. So I'm going to keep it short, okay? It's the story of, there's a couple of different ones. Let's start here, okay? Paul, right? We all know Paul. What was his name before his name was Paul? Saul, right? Saul was famous for what?
Murdering Christians.
Absolutely. Killing Christians. He was, you think about today in our context, it was like over in the Middle East where these Islamic terrorists are capturing Christians and beheading them. This is the extent to what Paul was. He was grabbing Christians and stoning them in public squares. he was a murderer, man, right? He was murdering Christians, chasing after Christians and murdering them. Jesus got a hold of him, changed his life around. All this stuff happens, right? You read stories in the book of Acts about how Paul would go visit these churches and people be scared because, hey, that's the murderer coming to our church, and kind of ostracize themselves from him. However, there was a man by the name of Barnabas. You can write his name down. Barnabas. His name means son of encouragement. He was an encourager. He saw something inside of Paul that no one else saw. He takes him under his wing and he builds him up. He mentors him, then sends him out. And listen to me. We as Christians, as leaders, disciple makers, we have to have Barnabas type vision to where we see the Paul inside of the Sauls. Come on, man. You may see a Saul, but Jesus sees a Paul, right? You may see a Saul, but Jesus sees a Paul. That's what I want for myself. Barnabas saw Paul inside of Saul. I want to see the Pauls. I want to see the potential in people and not be stuck on the paralysis. We can get so stuck up on like, oh, well, that guy, man, he plays with Ouija boards. There ain't no way, right? He's too far gone. Well, I choose to see the Paul. I choose to see who he could be. I choose to see that he is so desperate. That person that plays with Ouija boards at your school, that everyone avoids and wears the black makeup and dresses like this, and he's always he's so desperate for a connection with a higher being. He's searching for it in the wrong places. However, when he finds the right connection, oh man, who knows how on fire that guy's going to be at your school? Oh, come on, right? The kid that no one talks to because he's weird and he's fascinated with the weird stuff, and he's always talking about it. He wears it all over himself because that he's so fascinated with his passion. He has passion, but it's just in the wrong area. What would happen when it gets put on the correct area? It's looking and seeing people the way Jesus sees them, right? This is what it's about. People are my heart, so I've got to see potential in people and not get stuck up on the problem or the paralysis. So, all right, let's get it in our context as leaders, as disciple makers. We all, hopefully, you've been thinking about some people that you are going to chase after. Okay, if you don't remember it or you haven't read it in our Catalyst blueprint, what Catalyst is about. Man, we exist. We're here to learn leadership. Night, buddy. Mwah. I love you. Mwah. You want to say hi to everybody real quick? You say hi? Come here. Say night, everybody.
What I do.
Mwah.
Say,
Mwah. All right. We exist. Catalyst is here. Well, he can sit here. We're almost done. We exist in Catalyst, okay, to learn leadership, to all of us to grow together so we can go out and serve in our youth group, in our church, and beyond. But we also exist because we are here to learn to be disciple makers. And as we go through this journey, we're going to put it together and we're going to start discipling people, right? That is what we're here to do. Hopefully you have 3 people on that Google sheet. We've been talking about it. It lists how's your 3 doing, all the updates every week. So you can just kind of keep it in your mind of getting them in your mind. We have 3 people we're chasing 3 people, right? This week, what I want you to do on that portion of the Google sheet where it talks about give us an update on your 3 or anywhere where it talks about the 3 people, I want you to write out, it can be just a sentence. It can be as long as you want, short as you want, potential that you see within them. Okay. What's something that you see within your 3, right? It doesn't matter. Whatever you see in them, I want you to write that down. So take a note on that so you don't forget to do that. What's something you see in those 3? Because listen to me, I think it's powerful when we start speaking prophetically over people. We speak life over people, right? We talked a few weeks ago about how the power of life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? And man, it's powerful when I speak life over people. And the second thing I want you to do is I want you to tell those 3 people what you see in them. It doesn't have to be weird, like, hey, Sophie, I see God in you. You know, you don't have to make it weird, but it's like, hey, so man, you are so charismatic. You love people. I just see so much of what God wants to do within you. I see so much potential in you. I just want you to know I love you. You know, just encouragement. Just speak life over them. Plant that seed within them. Let them know, hey, I see this in you. It's powerful. It's effective. Amen. Y'all with me? Good. Any questions? Any comments? Anything at all?
Are we gonna have a Bible plan for this week or soon?
Yes, we just finished it up. I was planning on sending it out tonight.
Okay.
I've been looking for a couple that we're going to do, but I'll send one out here in just a little bit. Thanks for reminding me. Any other questions?
You yeeted that cat across the floor.
Do what? Someone said something about a cat. Oh, Pop. Yeah. Any other questions, comments? Cool. Hey, this week, man, let's get caught up in the Google Sheet. I want you to know the reason it's there. It's not for rules, whatever. It's just to keep you accountable, to make sure that we're growing together. I think it's one of the best ways, while Titan's taking a poop over there, it's one of the best ways that we can just keep each other accountable. Because here's the thing. Any of us can go through there and look to see who all is keeping up with it. Man, just some comments. It's good to, when I read through those Google Sheets and I see your guys' updates on your 3, and I read about how, man, what God's doing in your life, man, it encourages me. So let's just keep it up. Let's make sure we get caught up, stayed up, and man, let's do this thing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited for this new year, right? I believe God's going to just, he's going to show out. I don't know about, just so y'all know, a couple of things. I'm about to stop the recording. If you're watching the recording, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm stopping it now.